Tonight, first of all, I'd like to welcome our artist and also welcome our moderator, Peter Lavizzoli, a musician in his own right, who has written a wonderful book about Indian music here in the West, the dawn of Indian music in the West. A very comprehensive and very detailed book with a lot of interviews with the most famous Indian musicians who come to the West. So let me extend a warm welcome to Shubhendra Rao, Saskia Rao, Biplab, Bhattacharya, and our moderator, Peter Lavizzoli.
You have a wireless mic if you'd like to use it on the stand.
Okay.
Very good.
I think the next thing is that. Next thing is that.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for coming to this lecture demonstration with Shubhendra Rao and Saskia Rao and Biplab Bhattacharya. What we have here is a very unique situation with a duet of sitar and cello, with the tabla, of course. My name is Peter Lavizzoli, and I was working on my book, The Dawn of Indian Music in the West, and I was visiting India 5 years ago in January of 2003, and in Calcutta, where I was spending time with a mutual friend of ours, Tanmoy Bose, who is another wonderful tabla player from Calcutta who plays with Ravi Shankar. Visiting Tanmoy was Shubhendra and Saskia Rao. They came to Tanmoy's house to pay a social visit because they're very good friends. And I had not met Shubhendra and Saskia before, but they live in Delhi, but they were visiting Calcutta in order to perform at the highly prestigious Classical Music Festival of North India, which happens every January in Calcutta. It's called the Dover Lane Music Conference. It's one of the topmost music festivals in India each year. All of the great Indian musicians play at Dover Lane every year. And in January of 2003, 5 years ago, Shubhendra and Saskia had a very historic appearance there at Dover Lane. Saskia, being featured on the cello, was the first non-Indian musician to be featured at the Dover Lane Music Festival in the 52 years of its history up to that point. This was made possible because Saskia has studied for many years, and she will also go into some detail about this, with the great Indian flute maestro, who some of you may have seen here about 2 years ago, I believe, at the Broward Center, the great Pandit Hari Prasad Shaurejia. And Saskia has been a student of Hariji, which his students and devotees refer to him, Hariji, has been a student of Hariji for many years, from the time when she began studying with Panditji Hari Prasad in Rotterdam in the Netherlands, where she is from. She began her formal training in this particular gharana, or the particular style or school or lineage of North Indian music, known as the gharana, and a particular gharana called the Maihar gharana. This event, which happened 5 years ago with the cello and the sitar, was the first case where, again, as I said, a non-Indian musician was performing. And it was revolutionary because to hear a duet with the cello and the sitar has not been done before up until they started performing together. It was very surprising to me to hear them the first time in that performance, because it made me wonder why the cello had not been used in Indian music before, because it is so ideally suited for Indian classical music. It's a fretless instrument, it's a bowed instrument, and so with, now of course the sitar has frets, but what's very important with Indian music is that when the melody, the raga, is being played, the notes are very fluid, they're very rounded. So when a musician or a vocalist is developing the notes of a composition in Indian music, they're taking great care to give it a very rounded fluidity rather than a very sharp staccato kind of approach that we hear in Western classical music. But because the sitar has frets, it is still constructed in such a way to where Shubhendra can pull a string across the frets and bend the notes and give it that rounded fluidity. Even the tabla, Biplab will be able to put some pressure with his left palm on the bass tabla, which is called the bayan, and give it a rounded, fluid sound. So in Indian music, the emphasis is always on having the notes being as rounded and as fluid as possible. And the cello is ideal for that because, it is fretless, so the performer can slide up and down the fingerboard using the bow, so it has very much of a vocal quality to it. So it really made me wonder when I first heard them perform 5 years ago why the cello has not been used in this music before. We don't know the answer to that, but we do know that it is being used now, and the application of cello in this music is becoming more widespread thanks to Saskia and the work that she's doing with Shubhendra. And I would say that tonally, in terms of the sound of the instruments, that it's also a very perfect balance between the sitar, which has a brighter, more of a treble type of sound with the strings and the tone of the instrument, and of course the cello has a warmer, more of a bass, I wouldn't say bassier, but a warmer, more low-end sound with the wood and the bowing over the strings. So even in terms of the blending of the sound of the two instruments, it's a very comfortable relationship between the two. So why don't we have Shubhendra and Saskia give a slight demonstration on how the instruments are balanced in their sound, how they sound together when they're played. And we'll hear that blend of the two instruments, how they sound together. However they want to do that. Oh, okay.
Good evening and welcome to this lecture demonstration. Peter has already given you a background of what kind of music the sitar and the cello, how well they combine. And just want to say that indeed, Peter's question was, why was it not done before? My answer is better late than never. So the cello beautifully blending into Indian music. Indian music is a dynamic tradition. It has always adapted new instruments into being an open tradition. Any instrument which can play classical music, stick to the rules of what the classical music, the raga, the tabla framework. The violin was not part of the Indian classical music tradition a couple of 100 years ago, but now very much a part of the Indian tradition. Same with other instruments like the mandolin, the slide guitar, the Hawaiian guitar, now which are all popular Indian classical music instruments. So the obvious question was, why not the cello? And until Saskia came along to introduce it in her own way.
Sorry, can we have a little light in the house? Since it's a lecture, it's nice to see whom we're talking to. Thank you, that's great, that's much better. So, thank you both for your kind words. The cello as a new instrument in Indian music, it's not indeed a revolution actually. It's a part of an old tradition which has maintained its purity, but has never become static, I guess. That is how you can briefly talk about Indian classical music. I'll give one example of that. My very first guru was Dr. Samati Bhattacharya, a wonderful vocalist, a Drupad singer. She was 82 when I came to Delhi first, and known for her very purist and traditionalist views and deep knowledge of the music at the same time. when she heard this instrument and this Western girl coming to learn from her, said, "Oh, I wish I was only 5 years younger, I would have wanted to learn this instrument." This is Indian traditionalism in its best form, I think. I'll briefly talk about the cello, how I have adapted it. It was quite a journey for both me and my instrument in this music. When I started my very first lesson, I still remember my teacher was sitting on the floor and I was sitting on the chair with the cello, which in any musical cultural context would be disrespectful to both music and musician. So the next time I just sat down on the floor and just managed somehow. Since that time, we've passed together through 5 different instruments. This is the 5th example. And I've been working together with a wonderful violin builder in Holland and a wonderful sitar builder in New Delhi. The violin builder in Holland has made this instrument for me. He created it and designed it. It's slightly smaller than a normal cello. The bass side is slightly wider, and the F-holes are shaped differently than in a normal cello. Eduard van Tongel, who has built this, is well known for old instruments. He has made many Baroque instruments for the Haydn Society in Holland. So he also built this instrument. This has 5 playing strings. Tuned D, A, D, A, D. So very open tuning. And then the other special treat of this instrument is the resonating strings. These strings resonate. They don't do much else than that. And this was designed, this system of putting it, and with a little bridge by Sanjay Sharma in New Delhi, a wonderful instrument builder as well. You want to talk about your instrument? Or?
I think most people are familiar with the sitar. Should I assume that?
Yes.
Lovely. So nothing much to be said about the construction of the sitar, since all of you are aware, and the tabla, which is such an integral part of Indian classical music. There's nothing that happens without the tabla. Even though we call this a duet, the tabla, playing the accompanying role that it does, it's like the backbone, because rhythm and melody on which we base and improvise upon, he gives us the rhythm, and by itself it's a very, very beautiful instrument. And Indian rhythms, Indian tala cycle, the rhythmic cycles, the way the mind is made to kind of condition to think, one of the most complex, beautiful structures that the tabla can give us. Maybe we can have a short demonstration, maybe we can involve all of you to challenge him a little and question him a little, because this is Biplab Bhattacharya, one of the young rising stars in Indian tabla playing. And I think we should, the latter part, of course, Saskia and I will be playing, and then Biplab will also join, but a short solo from Biplab where we can also do a little counting, because that again is a very unique way of counting Indian rhythmic cycles. So to start with, let's keep a basic 16-beat cycle that we work on a lot. Now the counting goes 16 divided 4 equal parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is a wave, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 5, 8, 9, 10. 9 is a wave. is the most important beat because all our improvisation, one is what is called the sum, the beginning, the end of everything. So all through the rhythmic variations that he will do, he will be aiming to come back to 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, half of 16. 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 1. 16 is a common cycle that we all work with, but to challenge him, let's take something. Why don't we give a number? Say 13. Okay, 13. 13 beats. Okay, now 13 is divided.
It is divided by 4, 4, 2 and 3.
4, 4, 2, and 3. Now, why don't you show? The name of the tala is Jai.
Not chai.
Jai.
Although it sounds like you had too much chai.
1, 2, 3,
4,
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 9, 11, 12, 13, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2.
Last 3 beats may be divided by
Either 3 straight beats or 1.5, 1.5.
2 equal parts.
Now, what he played is something called the theka. Now, every tal that we play, every tal that he plays, has a basic syllable on which it's called the theka. And based on, when we are playing, he keeps the basic 13 or 16 or 5.5 or 7 3/4, whatever. The theka goes on. And that is set. But what we play on it, musically we are improvising both in the rag and the rhythmic structure, and he is improvising within the rhythmic cycle that we are doing. There are times when I play and he's keeping the bass. There are times when she's playing, he keeps the bass. There are times when we keep the bass and he improvises, and there are times when we just go crazy and do together. But the cycle is always in the mind. We are always thinking in whatever cycle that we have chosen for that particular. So from beginning to end, of course, beginning to end, when I say where we begin, where we end is totally at our discretion. But we can start from beginning to end, it's always in the same cycle. We never change cycles in between. We come to a definite halt and only then change the cycle. Yes, Bharati?
Can you please say all the chords and then we show? That will be very interesting.
Like he did the 13 beat cycle, which is called the theka.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 10, na, thun, na, kat, ta, then, na, then, na, then, na, kat, ta, then, na, then, na, then, na,
So as we see, it's like an ocean. It's endless. When we are traveling, other people think that we are crazy because all we are doing is counting. But then it's an endless. It's like an ocean. Even for us, we just feel we know very little of the whole music that it stands for. There's so much more to discover. There's so much more to learn. There's so much more to practice. And so we keep, our language is music, and we talk through that. Yes, please.
I'm a flamenco dancer. I only work in rhythm of 12, and I was curious, would you play a rhythm of 12?
Very much so. 12 is a rhythmic cycle called ektal, which
Ektal, we have 12 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And you can keep the flamenco beats 1 on 1, 2,